So the topic today we're talking about is health and happiness. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Karen.
I'm Chris.
I'm Luis.
And I'm Jimena.
So helpful ways to reduce stress. There's two methods. The first one is problem-focused coping, which is channeling your stress into another activity, such as exercise. Then you have emotion-focused coping, a way to alleviate your stress, which is yoga, meditation, which is something just very basic, easy to do. Learned helplessness. So with this, it's where you feel helpless, hopeless, you feel just very low about yourself. So an example of this is feeling of trying hard to get a positive outcome, but never getting there. So you try really hard to pass your test, you study, and then you end up failing it, just like everyone in psychology. So we're gonna go ahead and watch a video, which is gonna explain it more.
What is learned helplessness? Well, in India, when elephant trainers catch a baby elephant, they tie its legs with a rope to a post. And this baby elephant will struggle for days trying to break free, and it eventually gives up when it learns that it's useless. When it grows up, these trainers keep it tied using the same rope. And even though it's now strong enough to break free and escape, the elephant stands around waiting for the trainers because it's learned that it's meaningless. This elephant has developed what's known as learned helplessness. And this is the fact that despite having the power to change its situation, it's learned to feel helpless instead because of the past. It was identified by a scientist in the 1960s who do the same thing by shocking dogs. Highly unethical, of course. But what does this have to do with us? Well, in your life, you may have experienced a crushing defeat and learned that there's just no way to overcome it. Maybe it's not the case. Maybe that's just a story you've told yourself. Just think about it. If the average person does poorly on a test, they'll say the professor was too hard a marker. Whereas a clinically depressed person will blame themselves for not being smart enough. In both cases, the moment you give up, you've learned to be helpless of the situation. So in what ways has learned helplessness affected you?
Alright, so our next slide is on self-control. Self-control means to have like a strong will not to act on impulses, like if you're angry, you're not gonna like scream out or do something. You basically have self-control of that. And you seek instant gratification, but rather seek long-term satisfaction. So instead of living in I guess the now and doing things like in the current situation, just hold it off and wait for things later on. For example, it would be like working out, getting a certain physique that you want. You may not get it right away, but eventually you will. So it's a process that you have to take. So like it says, it might be painful short term, but in the end, long term, your muscles will get bigger and you'll get stronger and have a better physique. And then there's social and religious support. Social support, feeling liked and encouraged by intimate friends and family. So, you have your family to help you with anything. You can talk to them about anything. Same with friends. Even though family's you're able to depend on family more than friends. But in case you don't have that option, you have friends. There's benefits of social support and religious groups. Social support can help calm and reduce blood pressure and stress hormones. So it's the same, whenever you're feeling stressed or nervous or anything, it's always helpful to talk to someone. An example could be a counselor or just a friend, just to let go and vent. Religion promotes healthy behaviors and social support. So if you follow religion, you have that faith and that hope to continue doing what you need to do and work out something. Having someone that cares about you boosts up your mood and health. So like, let's say if you're in a relationship, you can depend on that person, trust that person, and it'll help out with anything you're having troubles with. And then there's being part of a faith community helps you to take the right actions to be a healthier person. So less drinking and smoking. So like, you know, like the religious groups, they're always like telling you like, oh, it's bad to do this. Like eventually, you're going down a slippery slope if you continue to drink alcohol or do drugs or stuff like that. So being part of a community, pretty much you can bring out your true self and you know, help others.
Alright, so the feel good phenomenon, and do good. So basically for this one, when an individual feels good, they tend to do more good things for other people. So let's say like when they say share the love, usually what they're talking about there is how when you do something, it's kind of like a chain reaction, I guess. Like when you do something for someone else, it's more likely for them to do the same for another person, even though they're a stranger. And here are some we actually have that example right here in some of the videos.
Hi, I'm Haley, and this is AP Student Crash Course. Today we're going to be talking about feel good, do good phenomenon. Feel good, do good phenomenon is where when you're happy, you do something good for someone else, and then they feel happy and do something good for someone else. An example of this is Lillian feels happy. She compliments Nancy. Nancy now feels happy. Nancy compliments Gerard. Gerard is now happier, and the cycle continues. Let's repeat. Feel good, do good phenomenon is when you feel happy and do something for someone else, and then they feel happy and do something for someone else.
So I mean, as you can see, these videos practically show how when you feel good or you're in a good mood, you tend to do nicer stuff for others. So adaptation level. Our self-esteem depends on the experience we go through, such as when we get in an argument with our parents when we are a teenager, and when we look back, we see that we either made it a big deal or that we should have had argued with a general, a minor fight. So basically what they're talking about here is how So basically, you're talking about how with experience we tend to build character, I guess. Like how. So like I guess from past experience we tend to behave in certain ways, just because we learn from our because it affects our self-esteem. So therefore, it tends to make us build our character and impact our future behavior.
The relative deprivation. It says we often tend to compare ourselves to others, such as when we compare ourselves to Beyonce or Drake. So pretty much, the way that we compare ourselves makes us feel like either irrelevant or makes us feel better about ourselves. So if we compare ourselves to somebody that's doing better in life, then obviously we're gonna feel less as a person. But if we compare ourselves to like the people that have nothing compared to what we have, it makes us feel better as a person. So right here we have a little picture, which is a little kind of like funny demonstration of how that works.
Emotions. Our emotions are short-term, no matter if it's a good or bad day. These emotions will eventually fade, balance out, and become neutral. There are many variables that affect our emotions, such as an environmental and social factors. So everyone has emotions, whether good or bad. There's many things going on in our lives that we relate them to our emotions, and we feel that way when we feel bad or when we feel good. So our emotions have a lot to do in how it affects our daily lives. Okay, and then there's many ways to increase our happiness. Some of them are to realize that enjoying happiness may not come from financial success. So having money doesn't mean we do have happiness. To take control of your time, to act happy, to seek work and leisure that engages your skills, and to buy shared experiences rather than things.
Okay, ways to increase happiness. These are just pretty much simple ways of where you can increase the feeling of happiness in your life or to feel more content with yourself. One way would be to join a movement, something to help others, helping others, like as well as the do good, feel good phenomenon. That's how it works. It brings more happiness into your life. Give your body sleep, so rest more. The more you sleep, the better you'll feel because your body gets more energized. Give priority to close relationships. So pretty much humans are like based on contact. The more you socialize with other people, the happier you feel. Focus on yourself, self-growth, self-development. That's very important for happiness as a person. To count your blessings, so always be grateful for what you have. If you have a bad day, a great way to turn around is just to remind yourself of what's going good in your life. What do you have good instead of what do you have bad? And to nurture your spiritual self. So meditating also increases happiness, as we said before. It's also a great way to find yourself, and also it would be a way also as self-focus and stuff.
Alrighty, so that's the sum of health and happiness by all of us. We thank you very much for watching it. Bye.